Okay, this is Nigel McGuinness.
In it to win it.
Okay, so what made you get into wrestling, first of all?
I was just a big fan, the same as pretty much everybody gets in this wrestling business.
Okay.
I used to love watching WWF on TV, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior.
So, where were you from? What part of England?
London.
London,
Grew up
England?
around London, and I was about 23 by the time I got into the job.
Oh, really?
I made a learn the business.
So how old are you then?
27.
Really? So it's been 4 years even in it? Or is
Yeah, well, you know, I started training, and then it took me about a year out of the first match, and then went back to England and saved up a little bit more money to come over here. And so only really been wrestling a couple of years.
Okay. What's the wrestling scene like in England?
It's great to learn, you know, it's great. It's the demographic over there is real different to over here.
Yeah.
It's all kids, and you know, people that watched wrestling 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But they're great, they believe wrestling. They cheer and they boo, and it's a lot easier crowd, and you can learn, and you can go out there and you can do simple stuff and you can get a reaction.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn the job, day in, day out. We wrestle 7 days a week over there.
Yeah.
Sometimes twice a day. You know, you do a show in the morning, jump in the car, 4 hours, get out of the car, do another show, off to a different town, do another show the next morning, you know. And when you're wrestling so many times in a day, that's how you learn the job. That's how everybody used to learn the job.
Yeah. So they don't expect like people to kill themselves in the ring in England, do they?
Nah, they do and they don't. It depends, you know, really.
Yeah.
A lot of times you get some kids, the WWF fans, that go, we want tables or, you know, puppies or whatever it is, but the majority of the fans, they're happy to, you know, as long as you have a good guy and a bad guy and you tell a story, it's easy, they love it, you know, and that's a beautiful way. It used to be the way things are over here, but now it's just, for the most part, it doesn't seem to be that way, you know.
Okay. You wrestle in HWA, Heartland Wrestling?
Yeah, I spent most of my career down there wrestling in Cincinnati and that sort of tri-state area. Do a few shows like this all over the place, you know, and now I'm trying to get into that bit more bigger shows around the country and make a name for myself, because in this business, that's the bottom line. You know, that's all you've got to do is just get over it, however you choose to do it.
Oh, yeah. So you've worked with a couple shows of MCW. What do you think of this?
I love it. I mean, shows like this is, you know, this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, you get tired of wrestling shows in front of 35 people. You don't care.
Yeah.
You know, why do you want to do that? What do you learn from that? You know, you don't get paid anything either. It's not about the money, but the bottom line is you go out here to wind people up. And a show like this, you got, I don't know how many people are there, 2,000? Something like that.
It's a pretty big crowd out there.
You know, a couple of thousand people out there, and you can get a reaction. And boom, there you go. You know, that's it. There's your hit.
So what's your favorite things going on in wrestling today?
Favorite thing?
Yeah, what parts of wrestling you like today, like on WWE or NWA TNA or whatever?
Man, that's a tough one to call. I don't watch wrestling like I used to watch it, you know. I watch it to learn from it. I don't get excited about it. Sometimes I see things and I think, wow, that works. You know, I think a lot of the guys down in TNA are really busting their arse and trying to, you know, push that product way up here, and I like that and respect that, and you know, who knows? You know, I think a lot of times the business follows the main guys.
Yeah.
You look throughout the history of wrestling, and it's gone up and down, but when it's come up, it's generally for one or two people. You know,
Yeah.
it was Gorgeous George, it was Ric Flair, it was Hulk Hogan, it was Steve Austin, whoever it might have been, you know what I mean? But it's generally those one or two people who just get over, like man.
Yeah, and that's how Goldberg got over like real quickly, but it seems like he's not having a very good reputation right now.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know, you know, it seems to be one of those things, you go out there and it either works or it doesn't, you know what I mean? You either got it or you haven't. If you ain't got it, you just keep battling away until you realise what it is that you do that gets that reaction from people.
Yeah.
Once you realise what that is, and some people, like you say, it takes 6 months. For other people, it takes 6 years or even 16 years.
Yeah.
Some people never get it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
That's just, I guess, part of it. It's like whether you're a stand-up comic or you're a wrestler or any performing art, you know.
And what'd you think of when WWE had the Un-Americans gimmick? That was pretty. I wouldn't want to be. That's kind of a bad thing they were doing right there, wasn't it?
Well, you know, they were trying a different angle, and I think a lot of times you just got to try things and see if they work. You know, it worked 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You didn't know whether it was going to work again now. It's part of the business. I think you try different things and you see what sticks and what doesn't, and you go with that. You know, I mean, everybody, the idea for Steve Austin, I'm sure, didn't didn't start off just as it turned out.
Yeah, because in fact he was brought in as a ringmaster as
right.
well.
Exactly.
In fact, the best thing that happened to him probably was getting fired by Eric Bischoff in a way.
It's weird. It's a funny business and it's a funny life how things work out. You know, and that's no matter how you plan life or business or whatever else is in it, you just never works out that way, and you just your success is determined by how you adapt to when things don't work out the way you expect. You know?
So what can we look for in the future for Nigel McGuinness?
Oh, like I said, I'm trying to get on bigger shows and get my name out there, and work with guys who work more of the high, the high-paced go sort of action. My style is a bit old school. It's the British style, much reversals and stuff like that.
So like William Regal wrestles then?
Yeah, more of a wrestling style, wrestling style. And, I don't know if that really works on its own nowadays, so I'm trying to mould what I've learned from England and that style and the old school style into what works today, and I'm still in the process of trying to find that right.
Yeah, in fact, I think WWE actually wanted their wrestlers to kind of tail it down a little bit after all those recent neck injuries, and I guess the crowd was actually booing his matches and
Right,
stuff.
exactly. It's tough, the business always had to evolve, you know what I mean, and it was always going to evolve, but at some point it evolves to a certain state, and then, where'd you go from there? Once you put people through tables and cut people's heads off and all the other stuff you've done, and no one buys an armbar.
Yeah, we can tell. It doesn't look like you've bladed very much. Never had done it, so you're not one of those hardcore guys, which is kind of good in a way. That's not what I get into for wrestling for anyway.
It's to each their own. I'm not going to say anybody's better than anybody else in this job. Everybody has to fucking do what they think works and, try their hardest. They love wrestling as much as anybody else, and they, believe in what they're doing as much as anybody else. So, who am I to say what's right and what's wrong? You just like I said, you've got to find out what works. Who can say, eh?
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Nigel.
No worries, pal.
We'll get that in the magazine. We'll get that sent off to you sometime.
Yeah.